Alright, we are in the Czech Republic, just recently got here, leaving Germany. So, Corey, what are your thoughts so far in Germany after leaving it? We've been to, well, what all do we do?
In Berlin, we got in and went to dinner, and then we slept. And then we got up and we did a 6-hour bike tour of Berlin.
It's supposed to be 4.5.
It's supposed to be 4.5, but our tour guide was pretty awesome. And so it was cool because our group didn't have to be anywhere, so we were able to like stay and talk and ask her questions as we learned a lot about Berlin on our bike tour, and we give her really high marks.
Yes.
And
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. And then that night we went to the Brandenburg Gate at night and took some pictures, and it was kind of a crazy place, like lots of youths hanging out, making noise, and just having a good time.
You crazy youths!
Lots of youths. They had these crazy bicycles where you could sit in a circle and everybody pedals, and you know, the driver would make them go in all sorts of directions. There was lots of screaming, fun screaming, but it was kind of crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
The Darth Vader.
There was a Darth Vader and a big bear, and apparently Predator hangs out there sometimes. So it's kind of like the Chinese theater in LA, but in Berlin.
Yes.
And then the next day, since we'd learned about some of the things on our tour, we went back to the Wall Museum, just about all the different ways that the wall affected the people in East Germany and West Germany, and lots of different like ways that people were smuggled out of East Germany, and lots of exhibits showing, you know, how they fit people in suitcases and, you know, trunks of cars and all sorts of stuff. It was a good museum, but it felt like they just had so much information that it was kind of overwhelming. But it was cool. And then we went through the Topography of Terror, which kind of shows, which is right next to the museum, and a part of the Berlin Wall still exists there. But it kind of shows how Hitler rose to power, and then a bunch of stuff about World War II. And that was really good. And it's free, which I think it should be, which was great. And then we went
to the
to the Pergamon Museum. Well, we had lunch first, and then went to the Pergamon Museum, and they were like, "You only have an hour." You're like, "That's fine," and it was like the perfect amount of time to see this entire museum.
Yeah. Saw it all. Got pictures.
Yeah. So there's
the Gates of Babylon.
Yeah, we saw two really famous things in there. One was the altar of Pergamon, which is a big Greek altar. Roman altar? Greek altar? Greek.
Roman, I think.
There's a big altar to Pergamon, and it was at Pergamon to Zeus and Athena, and it may be the altar that in Revelation.
Well, if it's Zeus and Athena, it's Greek.
Greek, you're right. It was to Zeus and Athena, so it is Greek. It's the one that John called the seat of Satan, so that was nice and fun.
Possibly.
And then the other thing that was there was the Gates of Ishtar, which is the Gates of Babylon. That was pretty impressive. And they also had a bunch of stuff from Uruk, which is the oldest known megacity, and a bunch of cool ancient Islamic artifacts.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we got ice cream, which we do a lot. And then today, that was last night. Oh yeah, yesterday we kind of crashed early because we were tired after walking around all day.
So what was the, what are some of the things that like really stood out to you?
In Berlin?
Yeah, just, you know, kind of briefly, what were the...
I really liked the Jewish, the memorial to the Jews, the memorial of the murdered Jews of Europe, which is basically a Holocaust memorial. And it was these big concrete slabs, and you kind of walk down into them, and it's very sort of crushing and fitting. I liked that a lot. I enjoyed putting all the pieces of my, like, Berlin Wall, East Germany, West Germany, Soviet bloc, all of this kind of random pieces of knowledge, of fitting it at least into a better puzzle, which was nice. Like, have a bigger, better picture of what all went down. And I enjoyed, when we first got to Berlin, I wasn't so sure about it. We kind of came in on a...
Cross the rotary, second exit.
Got it. Thanks, GPS.
And I was a little unsure because, you know, we kind of came in at an angle where you couldn't really see anything, and I'm like, oh, is all that's here big ugly apartment buildings and graffiti? But it turns out there's a lot to Berlin. And I really like the Reichstag too, where they do the government. It's all glass, and it's cool. And then
Transparency.
Yeah,
idea.
they want to be about transparency, so they took
Cross the rotary, second exit.
Will do GPS. And it was kind of cool to see, like, they had, the Nazis had basically set fire, well, it's believed to be the Nazis set fire to this building, blamed it on a Dutchman or something.
Yeah,
that was one of the reasons they were able to come to power. But they took this
We've got a history of basically being schizophrenic, and accepting responsibility for all kinds of things that went wrong.
Yeah, so he didn't commit crimes.
So,
he didn't commit. So
they beheaded him before he could figure out anything different.
Yeah. So yeah, so it was cool. They replaced all of the
rotary, second exit.
You're getting in the way of my story.
Found out that Hitler was a vegetarian, he didn't drink, and he shot up meth. So, any of you vegetarian non-drinkers out there, just don't do meth or drugs, because you're one step away from trying to be a tyrant. Just point that out for you.
He also had, what was his condition?
Cross the rotary.
Perpetual flatulence.
Yes, he was a heavy farter.
That was in his medical records, which
Yeah.
means it really was an issue.
And he ate lots and lots of candy.
Cross the rotary, second
His
exit.
teeth were rotten. So.
Yeah.
Turn left.
Yep, and then this morning we got up and we went to Potsdam, which is...
Cross the rotary, second exit. Then turn left.
Whoa.
See him?
Okay. Brian almost just killed us.
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't. And so this morning we got up and went to Potsdam, which is, I don't know, 20 miles. So.
Turn left.
Seriously.
Then take the motorway.
So we went to Potsdam.
Turn left. Motorway.
Are you done now? Can I tell my story about Potsdam? Now I'm the rambly one. Tell me to take the rotary.
Potsdam was a, I don't know what it was.
It's like a 18th century, like kingly palace castle thing, and it was really big, and it had more statues than I think I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, and Sir Frederick or whatever.
Frederick the Great.
Yeah, some Prussian king built like this really nice mansion thing there in the 1500s, 1700s. Yeah. They used to release animals out into the garden. They go hunt them. So yeah, that's all right.
We walked around. That was good. And then we went, listened to this Lutherans. We went to Wittenberg.
Yeah.
Which means nothing if you're not Lutheran. But if you're Lutheran.
If you're Protestant, it's still something.
If you're Protestant, it means something.
Yeah.
It's where Luther.
And if you're Catholic, it might mean something.
Sure. It means that one day Luther woke up and read his Bible and went, Catholic Church, you got it wrong. And he wrote up 95 different things that the Catholic Church wasn't doing them right. And he dramatically nailed them to a door on a church. And that started the Protestant Reformation.
Yep.
And so we went there, and the church was heavily under construction because in 2017 is the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation, so they're going to have like Luther Fest 2017 or something, and it's going to be, I'm sure, just a big party.
Fabulous. Drunken party.
Well, we are Lutherans, so that could happen. And
Like their beers.
Yeah, we like our beers, so. And it was kind of cool that they now have bronze doors that have all the theses written on them. And then we went and walked around Wittenberg, which was super cute. And yeah, had lunch, and then got in the car and came to Prague after several detours.
There's mountains again.
And there's mountains again, which is nice. Germany was surprisingly flat where we were.
Yeah.
In Denmark.
We spent most of our time in Eastern Germany, so we're going to be going through Western Germany on our way back out. So should be cool. Maybe see a difference.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
I cannot read anything in Czech, so.
We were doing okay in German, actually. We could make stuff out. We could make out words and kind of figure stuff out. And most everyone spoke English, so that was good until we hit Wittenberg. Then no one spoke English. And
That was okay, because I'm like, this lunch has some sort of roast beef in it. And it did, and it was good.
And now we're in the Czech Republic, and hey, McDonald's sign.
Hey.
I know what that means. And
democracy. Capitalism.
that's right, it's capitalism. Democracy. Every country we invade, we put in a McDonald's sign. McDonald's somewhere. Alright, well, we probably should wrap this up because we're reaching about 10 minutes.
Sorry if you fell asleep.
Yeah. We'll be back later.